All right, guys, welcome back into another video. Going to be getting into the best bets for week 1 of the NFL season. And this is going to be pulled from my game-by-game breakdown video. So some of the odds might not be as current as they were 2 days ago, but the information is still going to be the same. If you guys want to hammer those bets, you can. Okay, so right off the bat, I do really like Jonathan Taylor over 98.5 rushing yards. Okay, last year Jonathan Taylor had 143 rushing yards and 145 rushing yards against Houston. They didn't really improve that D-line or linebackers too much this year. So yeah, I like JT once again, both DFS betting wise. This is kind of one that I would hammer. So he's projected to get 114 rushing yards as well in this one. So yeah, JT. Mac Jones, okay, over 230.5 passing yard. Okay, I like that. In 2 games last year against Miami, he had 261 passing yards, and then he also had 281 passing yards. Okay, that is the way they attacked them. Now, he's only projected to get 232, so only about a yard and a half more passing yards. But I will take that into consideration that last year the Patriots saw fit to attack them via the passing game. It's a decent bet. David Montgomery be using the passing game a little bit more, and I actually really like his reception yards total. His receiving yards total is set at 15.5. Okay, last year he hit the over that 9 out of 13 games last season. Okay, he's projected to get 29 receiving yards in this game. Like, David Montgomery should get used a decent amount in the passing game in this one, because I think he's going to be kind of their, I guess, third option in the passing game. It'll be Mooney, maybe Kmet, and then Montgomery. Like, I like that bet a decent amount. That's one of my favorite bets on the whole slate. The Baker Mayfield revenge game. And honestly, guys, just right off the bat, like, this game could go one of 2 ways for Baker Mayfield. And we've seen this happen a bunch. Like, when he has that revenge game, it's either one of his best games or it's one of his worst. Like, I think it just comes down to him playing more aggressive, And so could that be 3 touchdowns? It could be. Could that be 3 INTs? It could be. Like, all those are within the realm of possibility. And like, if I had to choose, I might go with the under for Baker Mayfield at 220 passing yards. And like, obviously the Browns know how to defend him as well. I don't know. Like, I'm curious as to like, what are your guys' thoughts on Baker Mayfield this week? Is he going to light it up or is he going to suck? I'm leaning towards him sucking. Like, the Browns know how to play them. Baker's going to be playing aggressively. And if the Browns can play into that, like kind of bait him into some plays, I could see Baker struggling. The Ravens are projected to win by 7 points via Vegas, and then their over and under for the game is 44.5 total points in this game. So honestly, guys, right off the bat, I think just betting the over in this game is an approach that I want to go with. I don't really love either of these defenses, and I think the offenses both have enough weapons to the point where they're probably going to score more touchdowns than that, more points than that, okay? And really, I think it's going to come down to both teams are going to get into the red zone. It's just, are they going to be scoring touchdowns or are they going to be scoring field goals? All right, so getting to the next game here, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is one that, to me, is kind of appealing betting wise. The Bengals are favored to win by 6.5 points, and I definitely like the Steelers at 6.5 if Deontay Johnson plays, and that's a big if. Like, we have to wait and see if Deontay Johnson is going to play, but if he does play, yeah, I like the Steelers in this one. I don't think the Steelers are really going to take a step back at all. I actually think they're going to take a step forward with Mitchell Trubisky at their quarterback spot, because, well, Big Ben was just terrible last year, especially at the end of the season last year. And then you look at the Bengals, like, I don't want to say they lucked their way into the Super Bowl, but they did. They were the worst team in the games that they won in the playoffs. It was so strange. Like, they weren't bad, and they obviously put themselves in position to win each game, but that was just so random that they made it to the Super Bowl and heck, almost won the Super Bowl. It was a weird year in the playoffs last year. There's a bunch of similar teams, okay? But it was just weird. So I think the Bengals are being overvalued a little bit too much this season. Like, we see time and time again that these teams that make the Super Bowl but lost in the Super Bowl take a big step back the next year. I kind of see that with the Bengals. I think they're still going to be a great team. I just kind of see this game as one that's going to be a close game and one that could be a shocker in week 1 to a lot of people. Joe Burrow at under 261.5 passing yards. Okay, now I will say he is projected to get over that in my projection on 9 to 5 Sports. If you want to check those out, that's available for any 9 to 5 member on the cheat sheet. But in 2 games against the Steelers last year, Joe Burrow really kind of struggled against them. He had 172 passing yards, which was terrible. Okay, that was not good. And 190 passing yards. Basically, his 2 worst games last year were against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Given the fact that he had that surgery, which no one really cared about, they said that wasn't going to hinder his play at all. I still worry about that. Like, I could see them being a little bit cautious too with him. Like, I don't know. I think preseason reps matter, and the fact that he missed out on some, I worry about that a little bit. Not season long, like just in week 1. So I do like the Steelers to win this one, and I do like betting the under for Joe Burrow passing yards wide. And then I don't love this as much, but Najee Harris to get over 22.5 receiving yards. I just think he's going to be a strong play throughout this whole season, kind of like he was last year, although he kind of failed down the stretch. Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. And no, it's not just because I'm a Packers fan, okay? But I do really like the Packers in this one. So I will say the Packers are favored to win by 1.5 points. The game over and under is set at 48. I would hammer this over and under at 1.5 points if Aaron Rodgers had just played a little bit in the preseason game. I still think the Packers are going to win. And I kind of think the Vikings are going to have a year in which they kind of take a step back. Now, their offense should be better, but I think their defense is still going to be worse. And I think in a sense that maybe with the offense being more effective, the defense gets less time to rest and teams can score against them a little bit easier. Defense gets tired and whatnot. I could see that happening. I will say, though, Adam Thielen, his over and under receiving yards is set at 49.5. Okay, I like that a lot. With the defense giving a lot of attention to Justin Jefferson, and yes, Rasul Douglas is most likely going to be covering Adam Thielen, and maybe Jari is going to be covering Justin Jefferson. I just think that the matchup for Thielen is the one that you would want to attack the most. And last year, Adam Thielen had 82 receiving yards against the Green Bay Packers. I just like that a little bit more, and at his price point on DraftKings, he is firmly in play. I will say as well, Aaron Rodgers over and under passing yards, guys, is set at 256.5. Last year against the Vikings, he threw for 288 in week 17, and then in week 11, 385. Okay, the Vikings didn't get much better on defense. You got Patrick Peterson there. He's pretty old. Cameron Dantzler there. He had a good season last year. He's okay. They drafted a rookie cornerback who apparently sucked. Like, the defense didn't improve. Last year, the Vikings defense gave it the fourth most passing yards to opposing QBs. Aaron Rodgers is projected to get 285. Now, sure, we don't know who those passing yards are going to go to. Are they going to go to Aaron Jones? Are they going to go to Randall Cobb? Are they going to go to Sammy Watkins, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs? Notice I left out Allen Robinson or Alan Lazard. He's currently kind of questionable right now. Is he going to go to him? Robert Tonyan expected to be back in week 1. Is he going to go to him? We don't really know. We could see that being fully spread out. But I do think at the end of the game, 256 passing yards total is too low for that. So I would hammer that. All right, looking at the New York Giants versus the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are favored to win by 5.5 points, and the game over and under is set at 43.5. Now, I will say right off the bat, I do like the Titans to win this one at that 5.5 spread. And I will say Ryan Tannehill, his over or under passing yards is set at 207.5 passing yards. I love that. I'm attacking that. I'm betting the over there. He's projected to only get 215 though. So I'll put that out there, but he had over this projected passing yards total, 12 out of 18 games last year. And that was with bad weapons. That was with weapons that were injured. Obviously, Derrick Henry wasn't there. A.J. Brown was injured. Julio Jones was injured. At least his weapons this season to start week 1 are going to be healthy. So I think the chances of him getting over that current over and under is a lot more like than maybe the data that Vegas is pulling in for that because of, his passing weapons being injured last year. Like, I just don't think they're taking that into account with that. So I like that. That's one of my favorite bets on the slate. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed those betting picks. Hopefully you found some bets that you could hammer for yourself. Let's have a good week 1 in both DFS and betting-wise. If you guys enjoyed those best bets videos and tips, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. That helps out the channel a lot. Let's have a good one. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.